In today's video, we're going to be checking out the brand new Guerlain L'Homme Ideal Cologne Forte. So I think we're kind of seeing a trend here, and I'm excited to get into this one. I'm excited every time they put out some sort of summer edition like this. This is one of my favorite fragrance lines ever. I love the Parfum, I love the Extreme, I love the EDP. They're all really, really good, and typically on discounters are always at a great price. So this one retails for $165. That's currently your only option. You can get it through Guerlain's official website. That's what I ended up doing. I actually will put a link down below in case you want to pick one up for yourself at that full retail price. If you don't worry, I'll let you know when it hits discounters. Hopefully it will, probably in time for spring, I would imagine, which it should come in below that price point by at least a little bit to start out with. And I mentioned something about a trend, and we're gonna see, does it smell like this guy, L'Homme Cologne? Or maybe it smells like the cool version right here. Or maybe it smells like the latest Platine Privé. I would imagine it smells like a mixture of these or something. But I noticed with the note breakdown, there's a little bit of a differentiation there. So we're gonna open it up and we're gonna see what it's all about. So here is our bottle. Looks really sharp. I'm gonna try to show it the best I can. This is brand new out of the box here. So let me see, I haven't even really looked at it yet. You've got like a nice silver looking texture on the front plate there. It's not a plate, it's a sticker, all of these are, but you get what I'm saying. The color of the liquid itself has the slightest bit of like a bluish gray tint to it. I don't know how well it shows, it's kind of hard to see, but this is cool. It kind of has this metallic cooling look to it, which, if this is like any of the others, that would be, something that kind of makes sense. So I like that. We compare it to, the cool version here. This is probably one of my favorites. I love that nice light green look. We got Platine Privé, which used kind of a silvery front plate too, but with a darker bottle. So, they're going through and they're making some changes here. This one is also being marketed as a limited edition as well. Okay, so all of these have been limited editions so far. They're not changing anything with this either. I think that's just kind of their, it's what they like to do for these summer editions. So do a few healthy sprays here and we'll see what this is all about. Wow, yeah. Definitely very, very reminiscent of Platine Privé. That's the one that's most fresh in my mind because it's the newest one that we've had. Was that last year's release, 25, or was it 24? I can't remember, but man, it smells absolutely wonderful. They can keep discontinuing these, or they can keep, putting these out and taking them away year over year, and I'm still gonna love how it smells. It smells wonderful. You get that almond off the top, nice and vibrant, kind of brightness to go along with it, but a little bit powdery, a little bit dusty. A lot of grapefruit here for sure. A lot of grapefruit, a lot of lemon. The lemon kind of goes with the slightly creamy almond accord really well, which it works nicely here. It's significantly more bright, more fresh, more uplifting than basically every other version, the EDP, the Extreme, the Parfum, and so on. That does smell really, really nice. This is something that you can actually wear in spring and probably even more mild summer days or early summer days, whereas the others, not so much. So I will go ahead and read off the full note breakdown here. Up top, we have lemon peel. We have grapefruit, we have bergamot. In the mid, we have almond and cinnamon. In the base, we have vetiver, incense, and vanillin. So I guess I'm going to look real quick because the thing that caught me by surprise was the incense accord. Looking at Platine Privé, it is not there. Looking at cool, I know it's not going to be there. It's not. And yeah, so that's kind of a new note there. Now, as of right now, keep in mind, this is first impressions here, my first time trying it. I don't know if I'm quite picking up on that yet. I'm getting an overwhelming amount of bright freshness here for sure, which again is no surprise. It's brighter than what I was expecting it to be, honestly. And I know they list off the citrus and stuff like that, but it really does have a cooling and refreshing smell to it. It reminds me kind of the cool version in terms of that cooling, kind of refreshing smell that it has. I'll go ahead and do a spray of this one up in the air too. But I mean, that one's very bright too. Very bright, very punchy, citrusy. Smells great. But this, it's following them footsteps. It smells a lot like Platine Privé, of course, as well. We're just going crazy here. Yep. Again, they're very close. Would I say that they're exact? Not quite. I think that this one has more of a creaminess off the opening. Actually, after I just revisited Platine Privé, I felt more of a vibrant punch out of that one, more of like a strong focused citrus blast initially, whereas this one, yes, you're getting some of that lemon or lemon peel is what they call it, and some of that bergamot grapefruit off the top, but you're getting more of that almond sweet creaminess alongside of it quicker, in my opinion. In terms of cinnamon, I actually do pick up on just a little bit of it, surprisingly enough. That was something I wasn't for sure if we were going to be able to actually perceive or not, but just a little bit of a warm spice right alongside that almond. You've got that powdery, kind of creamy almond and just a little bit of a cinnamon kick. Now, what I'm really going to be curious about is incense. Are we going to pick up on that or not? I don't know if we'll be able to in this video or not. That might be something that we cover in a review or just in a list video or something when I'm talking about this one. But, you know, so far, not much of a smokiness, but again, nice little cinnamon there. In terms of the woods, definitely some vetiver. A nice soapy, clean, kind of woody vetiver going along here, which just adds to the whole idea of the scent itself. So here's one key thing that I just now noticed, and this is actually kind of good news. I was going and looking, and it's an eau de parfum concentration, okay? And that's good. I went back and looked at Platine Privé, and this is an eau de toilette, okay? So that's an EDT. The Cologne version is an EDT, and I'm sure the cool version is an EDT. So everything prior to this has been an eau de toilette. They stepped it up to an eau de parfum here. And again, I don't know what Platine Privé was retailing for. That was a while ago, I can't remember. But I feel like this probably isn't a ton more than what it was going for, and we get better concentration. And the reason why I also was prompted to go ahead and look at that is because, and this is very early on, I've been recording for 8 minutes here, but it is really pretty punchy. I did a few pretty good sprays on my skin to start out with, to be fair, but this stuff is pushing out really good. It's punchy on my skin. It's something that I would imagine is going to perform decent. Now, I'm not expecting, 12 or 14 hours of longevity out of something like this, whereas like the Parfum and the Extreme do pretty well and get somewhat close to that. I'm not, holding this to that same level of, regard there, but I do think it's going to be a solid performer. I think it's going to be one that will do better than what people would expect it to do, given that it's kind of a summer flanker here, or a spring-summer version. I would imagine we might be able to get around that 7 to 8 pretty consistently of usable longevity, but again, we'll have to see. Maybe the slightest bit of an incense, maybe a little bit, but it's really hard to say. It could just be because I'm thinking about it so much, but could just be a slight bit. One thing I will say, as I keep going back and smelling this one, it is cooling. Every time I smell it, you can feel it in your nose, like a cooling, refreshing type of sensation. You know how like Parfums de Marly Layton has that menthol kind of deal going on where when you smell it, you can feel it? Yeah, this has that too for some reason, and it's something I really like. This is going to be absolutely perfect for spring. This is one of those situations where a brand, a niche brand technically in this case, got the timing perfectly. I mean, at least for us here in the US, I mean, this is really pretty solid. Yeah, it's still winter, of course, but I mean, we have it now. You can buy it now, and that means you'll be able to buy it by the time March comes around as well, March, April, whatever. And so maybe again by then we'll have it on discounters at that point too and save a little bit of money. But this is about perfect. They didn't launch it in May when we're already looking at summer. They didn't launch it, in any other random time at the end of summer or something. They put it out kind of as we're winding towards the tail end of winter here a little bit. And I think that's something that is pretty nice. So we'll have this for spring, and that's when it's going to be great for. It's going to be so good, so refreshing, so cooling, so uplifting. This is the type of thing you spray on, and when you go outside on a spring day and just breathe in the nice fresh air around you, and you have this on, that's a making for a perfect situation. This one is going to be fantastic to wear. And so again, we've identified the trend. I mean, this has been going on for a while. I think we identified this trend before this one, but this is kind of solidifying the fact that this is what they plan on doing. They put it out, and then it's a limited edition, and then they release another variant again with a little twist, because it is a twist. One thing that's good about it, they're not just rebottling the old one and then putting it out again with a different name and different bottle. They are making some changes here, and I think this is actually, again, it's a little bit more in line with the cool version, in my opinion. Yes, still ties back to Platine Privé, still ties back to the OG cologne version, but it has more of that cooling, refreshing smell to it than what I got out of Platine Privé. I love it. I knew I was going to like it, and this is just, it solidifies the fact that this one is great. Love it, and I think that a lot of you guys who are a fan of the line will enjoy it as well. So that's my thoughts on the new, what is it called again? Cologne Forte, I almost forgot. And really fitting name on this one too. It does have a cologne type of refreshing smell to it. Just very, very cooling and uplifting, vibrant scent here. So I have it linked down below if you want to buy it at full retail. If you don't, like I mentioned, I'll send out an email and post a community tab when this hits discounters for less than retail if you want to get it then. Thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.